Rob here from robcoven.com, and we are nearly done. I'm going to give a concluding talk about the shortcuts, and by that I mean keystrokes on the keyboard to do things quickly in Photoshop that we all like to do, because if you use the shortcuts you'll find your Photoshop work will run much more smoothly. So let's get going. So the tools down the left-hand side of the Photoshop interface, most of them can be reached by a single letter on the keyboard. So here we've got W is magic wand, and E is eraser, T is type. A lot of these you can guess what they are by the first letter. B for brush, C for crop. Another one that I use a lot is P for pen, and I for eyedropper. It's not actually the first letter, but you can see where they're coming from. M for marquee. So I use quite a lot of these. You can see there R is for hand. I don't use that. And Z for zoom. I don't use that either. And that's because here, as you can see, to zoom I do Command or Control space and then drag to zoom into an area. And for the hand tool, I just use the spacebar. Much easier. Here are some Photoshop shortcuts that you will recognise because they are shortcuts in other programs like Word. You've got Command Z first of all. Now it's a little bit different in Photoshop, as one Command Z undoes what you did and then the second Command Z puts it back again. So you don't go through several steps of undoing, and the rest are very normal. Command A is select all, Command N is a new document, and you've got cut, copy and paste. Remember, cut is the same as copy, but it gets rid of the object you're copying. And there's two that are similar but slightly different and are very much used in Photoshop. A straight copy, Command C, will only copy the layer you're on, or the selection of the layer you're on. However, Command Shift C copies all the layers that are visible. It's copy merged. Another useful paste is Command Shift V, which pastes pixels in the same place as they were copied, rather than pasting them in the middle of the Photoshop document. Here's three that I often use where you're just adjusting the image. Command M I use a lot to increase contrast, brighten and darken the image. Command L I don't use so much, but some people like it because you can see the histogram of the image, but it's very similar to Command M in that it gives you the same controls of contrast, brightness and darkness. And lastly, Command U, which is great for adjusting the hue of an image or bumping up the saturation, as we do with a lot of web images. Now here are a few I use all the time with Photoshop. Command Shift N just gives me a new transparent layer. If I just want to add something on top, I use that awful lot. To fill something, say I have a selection and I want to fill it white or black or the foreground or background colour, I just do Shift Delete to get the fill dialog box up. Command J duplicates the current layer, or if you have a selection, it duplicates the pixels inside that selection to a new layer. And Command T for free transform, I use it all the time. This is for making stuff bigger, smaller, for skewing it, for reflecting it. You can just do everything with free transform in terms of transforming the shape of a load of pixels. Two more great ones that we use an awful lot, and to cycle through the layer blend modes, this cycles through the mode of the layer that you have selected as long as you have the move tool selected, and so this goes from normal to multiply to darker to lighter to saturation to all those multiple layer blend modes that give interesting effects of a layer on top of other layers. And you can cycle through them by just going Shift plus or minus, and that's a great time saver. Another great time saver is to use the square brackets to increase and decrease the brush size when you have the brush tool selected. Three very similar ones here, and this is when you Command or Control click on something in the channel, path or layer palette. So if you command or control click on a channel, it'll turn that channel into a selection. Channels are black and white images, and you can take either the black or the white into a selection. And if you want to choose the black or the white, you can always inverse the selection or inverse the channel in order to create that selection. Similarly, in the path palette, if you have a path, you just command click on that path, turns the path into a selection. Similarly, again, if you have a layer and maybe the layer isn't stretching across the whole of the Photoshop document, it's just an item within the Photoshop document with a transparent background, then if you command click on that layer, that will select the pixels in that layer. Two I use often is image size and canvas size. Image size is for increasing or decreasing the image. Canvas size is for increasing the size of the canvas behind the image. So you use canvas size when you want to extend images rather than just increase them in size. And lastly, thank you very much for taking this course. You're doing very well, very near the end. I would love you to go along to my site and ask me any questions at any time. My site is at robcubbon.com, and you can ask me a question at rob@robcubbon.com, or there's a contact form on the website. Whilst you're there, you may be interested in some free resources I have. I have a couple of ebooks, How to Market Yourself Online and Starting an Online Business. I also have a couple of MP3s about how you can start a graphic or web design business, and that's a couple of 15-minute voiceovers that you can put in your smartphone and listen when you've got some downtime. And finally, I've got a PDF of my favourite tools that help me run my own online business. So here is my website. I'm about to live in Thailand. That's why that's the very nice tropical image there. And you can click on this button here and you can sign up and get those free resources. Down the side here, we have a Photoshop section where I put all the articles I've written with my Photoshop tips and tricks. So here's how you can download those free resources, and I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Rob from robcubbon.com. I'll see you in the next video.